All right, so we're recording. So,
Oh, wow. It actually had a little, it tells me you're recording. That's kind of cool. Okay.
okay, cool, sweet. All right, and then I'll send you all the links and all the stuff afterwards. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to get into your backstory and how you're the owner of some pretty decent mines out there, because you're in Death Valley, right? It's out in Death Valley.
Close. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just outside of it.
Okay, yeah. So we'll get to that because that's fascinating to me, and like how the whole process worked, how you even got to where you're at. But just want to kind of get a little bit of your backstory and how you got to where you're at now. So where'd you grow up?
Let's see. I was born very young, Michigan at one time. Haven't been back there in a long time though.
Michigan?
Yep.
Oh, okay. And what'd your folks do for a living? Just curious.
Well, yeah, they were parents, old people. They just, dad
So,
had a job with the newspapers. Mom was a housewife.
okay. So you're
Straight up leave it to beaver sort of junk.
right. So what was your spark, your interest into, because obviously you've been to these mines before you purchased them. So where'd like the catalyst for exploring and going underground and adventuring and all that stuff, where'd that come from?
Well, back in the younger days in Michigan, back up in the 80s and stuff, I used to go up to the Keweenaw Peninsula and explore the old copper mines up there.
Okay.
And before they made it a national park, there actually were copper mines you could get into. But when they made the park up there, of course, they closed everything off and buried everything because they didn't want anybody getting hurt in a park
Right.
set up to see the mines that used to be there. So,
Right. Yeah, because I think
I used to roll up there and go through the mines and camp out on the sites. And I liked it. There's a sense of history there.
mm-hmm.
You look at the tool marks and the timbering and the wood, and you realize the people who did this, their great grandkids are dead from old age by now.
Right. Yeah, because I think
kind of the same for out here. And contrary to people, I'd never seen this place out here until a couple years ago. I was just surfing the internet one night and looking for retirement property, off-grid retirement property out in the middle of nowhere. And I saw an old ad the owner had placed for this place that got my attention. It kind of sounded too good to be true. I emailed him, he wrote me back. I started doing my homework, realized, hey, this might be true. This place is real.
Right.
So I came out to see it a few times and we talked back and forth over a year and a half, and here we are.
So a guy had owned this property and then you just connected with him and then eventually he gave the title over to you or the deed or I'm curious how all that works, like how the logistical stuff of that works.
Just like any other property sale, these are patented mining claims. So they transfer like any other real estate.
Right. So do you have the mineral rights or you just have the property rights?
All of it.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, because I know there's a difference. Like you can own like the land that the mine sits on, but you can't like work it unless you own the mineral rights or something. Maybe I had that backwards.
But there's still a legacy clause in the deed that says if I start mining, I owe the successor to Anaconda, I think it's the American Standard Corporation, 5% of whatever I make. But I'm not going to do that. This is retirement property. I'm done working.
Yeah. Well, I think we're probably close to the same. I'm 50, maybe a little bit older than me. So you're already retired.
I'm working on it. I'm in the process of retiring out now.
Yeah.
So I got a remote position for my job. So.
Oh, that's nice.
I still work for them and they get a good day's work. And then when I'm not there, I'm here.
Yeah. What do you do?
Federal law enforcement.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. I tell you what, I tried for years to get into law enforcement. I came this close a few times, but either a recession happened and the funding fell out, or I didn't pass some part of the background check or something. But yeah, I tried for many years to get into law enforcement.
It was a good job once, but those days are gone.
Yeah. People kind of frown on the federal government these days.
Yeah, even state and local. Cops aren't getting a fair break anymore. The people are down on them. The local governments are down on them. It's just, what's the point? So you're basically taking away all their power and the authority and telling them they can't do anything anymore. And the criminals know this too. So
yeah, they just
no respect, no trust. No discretion.
Yeah, just
we're all us old ones are bailing out, and
yeah, I hear you.
And 10, 15 years ago from now, when you realize the country is totally screwed up and you want us all back,
right?
money.
Right. Yeah, so we're probably about the same age. So like I grew up with like, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And so I always had a passion, a thing for like archaeology, history, exploring the underground caves and all that stuff. So I'm sure that probably sparked your interest into going underground, because a lot of people are like, you're crazy, you're nuts. Why would you do this? This is insane. But I think a lot of people get a passion and a joy for, because like what I do, I make videos of my stuff, my experiences, and I share it with people, because a lot of people don't financially or physically can't do what we do exploring wise. And they get a great appreciation of us sharing that with them. So that brings me a good sense of, what I do, sharing it with people who can't experience this, because these things aren't going to be around forever. They're going to fall apart, collapse, or whatever. So I'm just super excited and appreciate what you do for the restoration and what you're doing with these mines to allow people to come experience some history and all that stuff. So that's cool. I appreciate what you're doing.
Well, thanks. And that is my idea. I mean, I am starting to put it on the web a little bit as my technological skills allow, but
Right.
yeah,
Me too.
and I'm not going to be running full-time tours out here or anything, but people want to come out and see the place, I'll accommodate you. There's just too much history out here not to share it. So.
Right. Exactly. So what's the name of the mines? War Eagle? What do you have?
These are the Tecopa Mines. We've got the
Right.
War Eagle,
Mhm.
got the Grant, got the
Right.
Noonday, and the Columbia.
So you have 4.
Yes.
And do you know any of the history behind that, of like what they were mining? Because I can't assume it was gold. What were they?
Well, they were mining. There's silver, lead, zinc. Those 3 tend to run together in certain strains of the Galena, and that's what they were after. Very successful mines. One of the few mines in the Death Valley area that actually turned a profit and developed into anything. That grew to be one of the largest mining complexes in the Southwest. It ran for about 70 years under 3 different owners with a couple of brief hiatuses in between.
Right.
And they pulled out, again, a lot of silver, lead, zinc, some copper, little iron oxides, and it actually provided a lot of the lead and materials needed for World Wars I and II.
Right. Do you know any of the history of like who was, because you see like a lot of old photos, there's a lot of immigrants, there's like Irish, you see a lot of Asian immigrants working in the mines, like who's doing any of that type of work or who owned it or anything?
I've been able to uncover surprisingly little out of this mine compared to other mines in other areas I've inspected.
Right.
The first owners were your typical shoestring operation.
Right.
Eventually they made some money, but eventually were undercapitalized and had to shut down.
Mhm.
The second, the Tecopa Mining Group, they came in here. As far as I know, not a whole lot of Asians or recent immigrants, more just local people they could hire or experienced miners are brought in. It was never really a large operation manpower wise. It just ran for so long.
Yeah.
And Anaconda hired who Anaconda hired. During both wars, the employees were considered essential employees. They weren't allowed to leave to serve in the military.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people probably just moving out west because of the big gold rush thing going on. So is there a lot of artifacts and stuff still left behind in the mines? Like, do you have track, do you have ore carts and all that stuff, or?
Yes and no. Most of it's been stripped and looted out,
Yeah.
either by the mining company, other mining companies, scrappers, tweakers, souvenir hunters, a guy I won't name from Canada. But there's still some stuff in smaller, hard to reach areas that you can get to. And I'm trying to preserve as much of that as I can so people can see it. Bringing some items up and setting up a museum where people will be able to actually see the stuff.
Right.
Other stuff I'm going to leave in place and take people to see it. But it's, kind of hard because 98% of the stuff is gone.
Right. Yeah.
And even the few ore cars that are left are missing the wheels, except for a couple I'm not talking about right now because
Yeah.
don't want to disclose their locations. But
Right. Yeah, we had Frank on the podcast, interviewed him. He seemed like a nice enough guy. He was just down there. Did he come visit your place unannounced? Is that what happened?
yeah, that's the problem. He came in here literally a day after I had left. Never checked in with me. Didn't ask permission. Spent a few days down here, And then when I talked to him about it later and confronted him, it's like, didn't you see my no trespassing signs? He's, yeah, well, you don't own that property. You just have the mineral rights. Well, that's not true. They're patented mining land. I own it lock, stock, and barrel. And rather than apologizing and just trying to make things right, he accused me of threatening him and blocked me off all of his channels.
Yeah, I kind of heard something about that in some posts, and I wasn't sure what happened, but 'cause I know he was just down there for like 2 months or something. I wasn't sure if he visited your place, but yeah.
He could have asked, and when he realized he was wrong, he could have said something, and we could have worked this out. But yeah, let's not talk about him. That's
Right. It is what it is. Well, you just made a post the other day, or you had some trespassers, some kids coming out of the mines, and I kind of wanted to use this podcast as maybe a springboard, an announcement, PSA, if you will, for future people who want to come visit your mines, because you're more than willing and accommodating to give tours and show people what you have. You just have to ask. I mean, it's that simple. So people don't have to come and trespass and take stuff out of the mines, because that's what I love about you. You're more than, you own this stuff, and you're more than happy to share it with people. You want to restore it. I think this weekend you're having volunteers come up. So
right.
I mean, it's as simple as what I did with you. I just reached out to you. I'm like, hey, do you want to talk and connect? And it's that simple. So maybe just use this as a springboard for like other people in the future. Like, Chris doesn't bite. He's a nice dude. You just
I
have to
do, but that
ask.
costs extra.
It costs extra, right? Exactly. Doesn't bite. So just ask. I mean, just ask permission. I'm finding that myself as an explorer. There's plenty of places where I shouldn't be going, but if you just reach out to people, they're usually more than accommodating. Like, yeah, sure, come on, come out, take a picture,
I
or
mean,
whatever you want to do.
I
So,
want to share this with people. I want to preserve it. I want to tell the stories of the people that worked here as much as I can.
Yeah.
But I also, now that I own the place, I have to protect myself liability wise. There was a incident a couple of years ago that is still kind of fresh in the memories of the folks here in the county, and they've let me know it a couple of times. Some folks are out here camping one night, and one of the guys went up over a little hill to use the cell phone or use the bathroom, depending on which story you read, and tumbled into an 80-foot open shaft.
Oh, shit.
And the rescue was quite involved. He did live through it.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of those on the property. I don't need that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Like, because you're having people come out and, experience this and enjoy this, but is there, as a property owner, is it legalities behind that, like safety issues? Do you have to have like people come out and do like safety inspections, like inspectors need to come out, or?
That's another thing. No, and I tell everybody that comes out, goes underground with me, this place has not been safety inspected or remediated in over 70 years.
All right.
It's a good, stable mine. I wouldn't be inside if I didn't think so, but things happen.
Right.
So you rolls the dice, you take your chances.
So there's no county inspectors that come out and say like, hey, you shouldn't be having people come out here. None of that
No,
stuff.
I'm not operating as a commercial entity out here.
Okay, gotcha. So it's just,
I'm out here on the patented claims, just doing my thing. It's my retirement property. Just think it's my house with a big basement.
right. It's just a big hole in the ground. Exactly.
So I will take people into some areas and show them stuff that I believe is safe. On the other hand, there's over 15 miles of tunnels just in the 3 mines, and the Columbia's got several miles more of its own.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't even seen much of this. So I'm not taking people into all of this. I'm not giving people free reign down here. You're going to go in the areas that I know are safe.
Yeah,
keep you out of some areas that I know aren't safe, because I do have some of those too.
Yeah, keep it horizontal, no repelling and none of that bullshit unless you're, got it.
Even people who are trained to do that, but so there's some areas where there's some real bad rock and timber coming down, and it doesn't look bad until you really, I didn't know what it was till somebody pointed it out to me, that how dangerous some of these areas were. And once I was shown, it's, oh yeah, I see it now. But I've been walking into this stuff for weeks.
Right. So you're living out there on the site and your trailer right there?
For now, yeah.
And you got
trying to get a contractor to put a house up here, but not having a lot of luck finding one in this area.
Right. So you're kind of doing the Brent kind of ghost town living situation.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could be as successful as he was, or is.
Right. Well,
you got it nailed down.
Yeah, you got to get some YouTube videos going for sure.
Well, one of these days I'll learn how to make decent YouTube videos instead of the ones I'm putting out now, and maybe it'll take off.
Right.
I've got a lot of help from another local blogger out here, a YouTuber named Wonder Hussy.
Okay. Okay. I'll check them out.
She's got quite a following. If you watch her videos, you'll see why. She's a professional full-time YouTuber and great person, and she's helping me put mine together.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that, like the mine restoration. Like, what does that entail? Do you have to put like timbering in there, or are you just kind of like cleaning it up? Like, what's mine restoration looking like?
Well, like this weekend, we're going to do some cleanup on the surface. Want to put some fencing around some of the open shafts. Underground, we're picking up a litter. There's still a lot of litter down there that needs to be pulled out. Going to be doing timber salvage, finding any pieces of wood that are down that aren't being used for anything, bringing them back and cataloging them. Same for rail and other, just seeing what we got, moving it to central locations, removing graffiti, rebuilding some laddering, replacing some timbering when I get some people qualified out here to do that.
Right.
And ideally, I want to replace a lot of the ladder work that used to be in here. Most of it's still pretty good. There's some bad spots, there's some missing stuff, but I want people to be able to reach the areas they went to before. I mean, these mines connect underground. You can go 3 miles, without breaking the surface once and pass through 3 different mines. Right. But it needs some cleanup work, and got to shore some stuff up and put some lettering back in place.
Yeah, being out in the desert, it's pretty dry, so the timbering tends to hold up a lot longer. Because up where I'm at, I'm like 7 hours away. I'm like up in the Bay Area. So Sonora is kind of where most of our exploring takes place, and it's pretty wet up there. So a lot of the timbering's rotted and stuff's kind of flooded. So it's a little bit different environment, but
same. Michigan, Colorado, places I've been, everything's wet.
Right.
So you got, water with rusting iron underneath it, rotting wood. Nothing's secure overhead anymore. And
yeah. We've been waist deep in a couple mines, and
this place out here, it's dry. There's no water. The wood is as solid as it was 100 years ago. I have no problem using a lot of these ladders. Right. Just a few steps that you're placed here and there, mostly because the miners' boots wore them out back in the day. Yeah.
Do you find any old dynamite in there? Yep.
There's a few caches of it. Other areas, there's a stick or 2 lying around. I just ran into a big pile of it last night.
Oh, wow. Is it sweating?
No, it's newer gel stuff. By new, I mean, 1950s vintage. So it's still 70, 80 years old.
Yeah.
And still technically hazardous. So we're just leaving it right where it's at.
Yeah, just leave it alone. Exactly.
Most of it's out of areas where people are going to be. So I don't mess with it. It doesn't mess with me. We're good.
Right. Yeah. Let's be friends.
I have talked to some explosive removal experts about it, anonymously, and we blow it in place.
Okay.
Now,
yeah.
You take out a couple of sections of the mine doing that because there's big piles of it.
Oh wow. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. So I know you're having a volunteer weekend this weekend. Hopefully I'll have this out by either later today or tomorrow. I post them pretty quick. So, but either way, so people can come out and volunteer, help you out, do all that stuff. If people want to explore your mines, like I said, you're more than accommodating to have people come out. So what's the best way for people to reach you if they want to do something like that?
Well, I've got 3 ways. You can catch me on the email, Tecopamines, all one word, @gmail.com.
Right.
Find me on Facebook, Chris Adams @Tecopa Mines, and my YouTube channel, Tecopa Mines. There's a theme here.
Right.
But please watch my videos and subscribe. I need more watch hours. I'm trying to get monetized. That money's going to go into paying for timbers eventually. Right. The power tools needed and all the other miscellaneous items out here. Yeah. Plus, I still got a mortgage on this place. So
right.
And with the economy's going these weeks, last few year, I'm starting to worry about some of that. But
yeah. Because I think I found you on Donald Swanson's Facebook page, Gold Country Adventure and Exploration. I think you post there quite frequently. So yeah, Donald's a friend. So yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally nice dude. So yeah, so I've
met a lot of the people in the community. I wasn't part of this mining community before. I was surprised at how many people there are out on the internet that follow this and do this. But pretty much everybody's been just fantastic, and I'm liking the people I'm meeting and talking to. So it's
Yeah.
all positive.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do with, because I'm with Nick. I think Nick and Sydney have been out there. I don't know if you've met them, but I think they've been to your mines.
Yeah, I have not met them.
Nicholas Bowen.
I know he is. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think he's been out there maybe years ago. I'm not sure, but so I connected with him, and we kind of created North Peak Adventures, and we do the podcast and doing some exploring YouTube and trying to create a brand, create a community, because we're all like-minded. We're all the same interests. We're all going underground and exploring. So everybody just come together, share with each other, connect, and then nobody has to trespass or do something stupid. So
And that's why I put myself out on the social media platform. I'm not a social media person. I'm private by nature, but
yeah,
I wanted people to understand that, yes, this is privately owned now, but it's not by some big faceless corporation. There's a real person here. Reach out and talk to me, and be more than reasonable. In fact, come October, so it'll be pretty much open for visitation on a pretty good full-time basis. So
all right, cool. Well, that's awesome.
that's projected schedule right now. I won't be soliciting any visitation probably until then, but by then I'll have a real good idea, what I got and what I can do, and we should be ready to roll.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm 7 hours away, but hopefully I'll get out there sometime, maybe this summer or something. I don't know. We'll stay in touch, and I definitely want to come out there and explore and say hello and camp and all that good stuff. So,
all right. Yeah, I mean, summer in Death Valley is, no joke. So
you're right.
everything will be pretty much, I won't be on site, as often
As much. Yeah.
Be locked up by then, but by fall we'll be rolling again.
Okay. Well, that's a date then. By fall, I'll come out and visit you and say hello.
And I do have an agreement worked out with both the sheriff's department and the Bureau of Land Management to patrol and watch the land while I'm gone. And
right.
What the understanding is, I will be prosecuting trespassers they catch out here. So,
yep. All you got.
Again, there's plenty of opportunity. Just reach out, and I'd rather meet people and take them through.
All right. This is how you do it, folks. You just got to reach out, say hello, and like I said, Chris don't bite. So
yeah,
just say hi.
I do, but the consent is key.
Right. All right. Well, thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. All the success to you, and I hope things work out, and hopefully I'll get out there one day and say hello. And
I hope so.
Thanks for doing
this.
We'll
be doing another volunteer pickup in mid-October.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll shoot for that one. Okay.
Yeah, that'll the Southern California Grotto is working on that one.
Okay. Cool.
And they seem like a really impressive bunch. And
yeah.
Hopefully by the time they come out here, we go through, we'll be in business.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, thanks, Chris. I appreciate it, and be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much. We'll see you.
All right. Thanks, buddy. I'll send you links.
Cool.
All right. All right. I stopped recording. You still there? Hello?